And hello and welcome to CNBC Africa's On Assignment with myself, Tanya Habimana. We're about to discover Dubai Media City as well as Dubai Internet City, two hubs designed with purpose. The one to help communicate and share the message that Dubai is, and the other to attract top innovative and technology talent. I'm about to speak to the Senior Vice President of Dubai Media City. So we're in Dubai Media City. You're the Senior Vice President. I want to know a little bit more. What is Dubai City and how did it come about?
Okay, great. So first of all, welcome to Dubai Media City. Definitely it's a pleasure to have you here. And you rightly said, I think Dubai Media City has been an exciting journey. The whole journey started definitely in year of 2000, where our ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, has had a vision talking about Dubai and trying to set Dubai on a different trail where it was before. Earlier, Dubai was focused on trade and just started on focusing on tourism, and I think things were just falling in place. And the overall overarching strategy was always to take Dubai from being based on these commodities only to a knowledge-based economy. And that resulted in few things. One was the creation of Dubai Internet City as a tech hub, and then the creation of Dubai Media City to support sending the message of Dubai out in the world. And how would we do that best? By attracting agencies such as yourself, coming to Dubai and coming to the United Arab Emirates and seeing the reality on the ground. As you see today, there are a lot of stereotypes that might be around us. Nevertheless, I think seeing is always believing, and I think when we had the initial, number of companies coming in and seeing what they had, they started reporting the right stories out, and creating a lot of exciting stories out of the region, because the region is full of culture and full of exciting things happening around it. And I think this was the initial step that moved us in. Saying that, I think there is a huge part of all of this was the creation of Dubai itself. Even earlier than 2000s, where His Highness's vision was always to set up Dubai on the right pedestal and see how this would result in making the city, move away from 100% dependent on oil to depending on mines. And we are here today.
And so with Dubai Media City, what sort of brands and media companies have you attracted to date?
Okay. So Dubai Media City has started with initially just looking at the initial part, at traditional media, as we can put it at the moment. Where it was newspapers, it was TV and broadcast, it was advertising, and the softer parts of the the media sector. And as we started growing, we started finding out that, people require more things around us. So, you had a TV that was located in one of these buildings, and they said, what, guys, we cannot, build a studio here. We require that you give us a better infrastructure for us to be able to build studios. So we actually invested in Studio City, and then we invested in publishing or a production city, and basically accordingly grew with the media sector. And today, with all of these digital twists and shifts within the industry, that is also putting us at the forefront of things that we need to change. And we've actually evolved quite a bit since then. So, Dubai Media City encompasses everything that you have in mind when it comes to media. So that's the beauty of what we have in TCOM Group today, where we are focused on certain industries so that we can give business partners the best possible infrastructure for them to do their business and not worry about the other stuff that comes sometimes take up a lot of their time trying to figure out the logistics, for instance, of these things. So we took out that part of the equation and we say, guys, we'll take care of your the stuff that you don't want to do, and you focus on your business and get good content out.
That's amazing. It's quite a novel strategy, and quite a deliberate one, in the sense that you're very much looking to ensure that you can create a platform, an infrastructure that would allow all of these media companies to do what they do best. I'm quite curious though. I mean, we've just gone through a global pandemic, which I'm sure shifted quite a few things in terms of operation, and particularly these industries. We're talking media, communications. What are some of the trends or the consequences of COVID?
Well, COVID was hit, and it was hard on, I think, a lot of industries. Nevertheless, I think the media industry got the initial hit of COVID. So I think a lot of the companies that we had, the first thing you do, you try to lower your media budgets when you go through a tough time. So it was a very tough time for our companies. But I think a lot of what we've seen this year, with the COVID year, I think, was good resilience that has happened from a lot of these companies, where we did not expect so much, resilience from them. We expected that people would start closing down and start moving, out, where that didn't actually happen to the same extent. Yes, there were companies that were going through a tough time, or companies that were shutting down, but that wasn't the biggest percentage of what happened. I think resilience was there. Definitely, we played a major role with our partners in this industry. We supported them through that time, through whatever means that we were able to provide to them. Especially that we do not only provide infrastructure or offices or whatever. We actually provide the whole gamut of things that make your own business operate. So your government services, your visas, your employment requirements, you're dealing with the different government bodies. So a lot of people didn't feel that much of a problem, generally speaking, because our infrastructure was still operating at a normal standard. Yes, there were some little changes that, because we are relating to the federal government in the view of the UAE, but nevertheless, I think everything was at a good percentage. So people did not face major challenges when they required these services there, because the year before, we've actually migrated, or a few years before, we've actually migrated a lot of our infrastructure digitally, which fortunately worked very well during these years.
So you were ahead of the game. Well done.
Well, yes, I think looking at hindsight, yes, we did.
So I had the pleasure of walking around, and one thing that I did take note when it comes to Dubai Media City is this. It feels like it's a work and play area where we're merging business and leisure. How do you see this?
Look, I think the concept of communities, which we set in Dubai, since the initial strategy by His Highness, was to cluster people together, because we believe, the government believed, that clustering people together only will get more creativity, more interaction, more business done. So I think, and that's the beauty of Dubai Media City today. So today, I think, if we look at it without anything else, it's a group of buildings.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, and to don't look at the building part of the equation and look at the full community, the 35,000 people that are, white collar people, that are creative people that are working within media, the 3,000 companies that are operating next to each other, the companies that collaborate, the collaboration is great, and the livability of the place. So when we take this on a very serious note, how can we make it even better for you? Because we believe that our people today, or our partners on ground, live with us approximately 8 to 9 hours of their day. So half of their actually day is within Media City. So we have to make it as exciting as possible. So we do a lot of community support and community activities, as well as upskilling of a lot of our people too, which are sometimes workshops that come free of charge, just for us to see that, okay, this is an industry that is going, slowing down or softening. Let's see how we can upskill certain people. So we work with, for instance, our production companies in creating workshops to upskill people to do more content. So, you know, a presenter, we, you know, creating your own podcast, participating in links, you know, the creative competition for the students. So there is a lot of things that we do to support the community. So it's never only, you know, an office and thank you very much. No, not at all. I think what is the beauty of and I think what makes us successful today is the fact that we take care of you from day one until hopefully there is no day zero. So all through your business
no
life
end in sight.
No, hopefully no end in sight. So we find people that are with us for the last 20 years, 21 years, and they are actually happy. So, you know, and we sometimes get amazed. We get a call after like 18 years from a company. Says, you know what, I think now I need you guys. So where were you? I said, no, my business was going really well. I didn't need to contact you during that time. so that's good. And so we enjoy these kind of calls nowadays. So it's very, very interesting to see how you know, businesses work together. And you know, and we have at least I think you know, companies from all over the world, and I think we are always looking at how can we actually open the door for more African companies to take advantage of this launchpad for a lot of their businesses. And recently we've also focused on startups and finding out how can we support media startups. So earlier it was only tech startups. Now we are looking at media startups and we are looking at design startups. So we're actually expanding our reach in trying to find even the grassroots potential businesses so that these businesses could start expanding. And I think we're better nowadays to expand. I think you know, Africa as a continent has huge potential for expansion. I think even in the last AIM, they were talking about how much potential you know, Africa has for a lot of these businesses and these startups. So we find a lot of these startups looking at providing their services there. So we support all of that on the ground, physically with people, and hoping that, you know, these would result in, you know, exciting new projects coming up.
So with the African businesses, what is the main pull? What attracts African businesses to Dubai Media City?
I think we have to look at it in two parts. We have, the world is shifting. So at one point of time, Europe was on top and people were coming from Europe because business was pulling from that angle. As we started moving, we find that more businesses come from the Americas, you know, North America to be specific. And as we move, then subcontinent and others. And I think today Middle East is the place where businesses will happen. And I think this is where I think a lot of the African companies see potential for them growing out of Africa nowadays. So they actually use Dubai as their launchpad, you know, for many reasons. You know, livability, I think infrastructure is easy and very close to most of, you know, Africa in general. Connectivity is great. So there is a lot of reasons why you need to be, you would consider Dubai today. And definitely Dubai Media City is one of the top reasons. Yeah.
And so the crucial question, how many African businesses are currently operating in?
I don't have a specific number in general about that, but I think there is quite a bit of African companies. Nevertheless, it's not enough. So we don't believe we have enough businesses from Africa.
Thank you so much for having us today. We're here at Dubai Internet City. And I'm curious, I want to hear from you. What is Dubai Internet City all about?
Thank you very much for having me today. Welcome to Dubai, first of all. Dubai Internet City is probably the largest technology park that we have in this region. And this is a 22-year-old business park that we focus solely on technology companies. And this was established in the year 1999 by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. And this is like a beautiful story about Dubai's transition from a trading hub into a knowledge economy and future economy. This was one of the most important projects that were announced by His Highness that established a base that you see today when it comes to future technologies and positioning Dubai as not just a technology hub, but Dubai as a business hub and as an innovation-led economy. So in 1999, it was announced. In the year 2000, it was already established with 4 buildings. We only had 1 year to deliver these assets. And it was an incredible journey since then. We were very successful in attracting almost all of the large technology companies around the world that you see. So all the Microsofts, the Oracles, the Meta, and even the newer companies like many others, Amazon, and I can't count them all. There are too many of them. But they're all based here in Dubai Internet City. And the very interesting thing that we're seeing over time is that this has also turned into a very strong startup location. So most of the startups that are successful in the Middle East are also located in Dubai Internet City. So when you ask me, what is Dubai Internet City? It's a place that is where people and minds click, as we can say, and innovation happens here.
So naturally, my question has to be, what kind of innovations have stemmed from here?
Yeah, I like to use our success factors when it comes to startups, because that's what usually means for the ecosystem, right? It translates into actual companies and entrepreneurship that came out of Dubai Internet City, or Dubai in general as well, not just Dubai Internet City. So some of them are, a good story is the Yahoo Maktoob deal, which is one of the earliest, which Yahoo came and acquired it. A second one is the Amazon acquiring Souk, Uber acquiring Careem, and there are many other startups such as Dubizzle, Property Finder within this ecosystem that we have here. So we have a lot of startups that came out of this ecosystem, but the most important thing, it's always about people, and it's always about how we work diligently to make sure that this ecosystem is about talent and is about innovation.
Now, with that, I mean, you're telling me about an internet city that was imagined and created in just a year, but not any year. We're talking 1999, 2000. This is the height of the .com era, where I can imagine there was quite a bit of skepticism as well as to this internet thing, these online things. Are they going to continue in the future? Was it hard to convince these international companies to come and set up shop here?
I think this is a very important point, by the way, because this came at a time, exactly as you say, when there was a boom and then there was a bust generally about the thought of internet companies. But the forward-looking vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed recognized that this is an important base that we would require in the future. So this today, as you know, technology is in everything, right? In every single industry that we do. So a lot of the companies and the futuristic ideas that we have today and digital economies, Dubai, by the way, has been given a lot of awards when it comes to government-led initiatives that are digitalization and making life easier for people using technology. So all of these projects need to have a base somewhere and need to have support from these companies. So that vision was always there. And the second point is about Dubai and the UAE. The Dubai and UAE, it's not just about this ecosystem that we've built, but the city is an amazing city, always known for trade, always known for tourism, always welcoming people from across the world. So this comes naturally for us. So whether or not this transition of these industries was there, the fact that the vision was there is the most important part.
Now, you say something very valid, that Dubai, the UAE, has always been quite a front runner, forward thinker when it comes to new technologies. I mean, I heard recently of a Minister of Artificial Intelligence that you have here. How does this all play out in terms of the overall vision of the UAE with regards to the Internet City?
We look at ourselves in Dubai Internet City as supporting the governmental projects wherever they come. So if you create a base where a lot of these minds, it's gone beyond companies now, right? It's about talent, where all of these talent is based. All of these programmers, coders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and technology are based. This means that you have a very strong area in which you can develop governmental initiatives across the country. And therefore, we consider ourselves part of the story, an important part of it, that support all these government digitalization efforts, and whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's the metaverse strategy, contribution to the GDP strategy. So we are part of the story as a support and as a base by creating something like the beautiful location that we are today.
Indeed. And how about African companies? How many do you have currently operating here?
We have quite a bit. Some of the names that we have are some companies like Paystack, we have Gratifi, we have many more actually, but the important part that I want to highlight is that African companies use Dubai to expand as a base. So they might be based in Africa, but they come to Dubai because Dubai is a location of choice where minds from all over the world and opportunities come to Dubai. So the interesting fact that we have in Dubai Internet City is that if you're located here, you are literally, you know, for example, Vodacom is part of our community. If they're part of this community, you can walk down the corridor and maybe meet an entrepreneur from the Middle East, or you could be meeting a global Fortune 500 company. As well, part of the same community, right? So this is an important part that we create in terms of value, is that you're not it's not just about the city of Dubai. Dubai is you can find the world into Dubai, and therefore a lot of African companies are based in Dubai Internet City in order to use that to their advantage, either taking it back to Africa or maybe growing from here to the world as well.
And what does the Internet City, the Dubai Internet City of the future look like? I mean, in terms of expansion, innovations, I can imagine that the vision is quite big. Perhaps you can share with us.
Yeah, I think technology is in everything. So we're going to see growth in every, in all segments. But basically, for example, food tech, right? You have Industry 4.0. If I speak more recently, we've seen a significant growth around the world actually in e-commerce because of COVID. We've seen cloud computing becoming incredibly important, and data centers that come with it, but also cybersecurity, for example. So these are certain industries that we still see potential of growth for these industries around the world, actually, not just here.
Now, we can't talk about the future without looking at our recent past. The COVID-19 pandemic, I'm sure, changed quite a few things for businesses operating here. What are some of the significant changes that you've observed?
People coming back to the office are more eager to hug and to shake hands as one. But generally speaking, people are having different habits than before. So people, it might be a hybrid environment now, but generally speaking, the way that it was handled in Dubai, the amazing COVID, Dubai has always been, and the UAE actually as a country has always been either top 2 or 3, I think, in terms of COVID management. And therefore, a lot of companies have used that to their advantages. So we've seen growth in this area, in the city, in the UAE. It's quite busy. And even though the habits changed, some of the interesting things that I've heard around the UAE is that the tables previously in restaurants used to be 2 or 3 people will have a gathering, and they will have it as maybe 2 to 3, 4 people. But now people have larger tables to have gatherings. So I think in terms of habits, there might be a slight change, but in terms of what we see as Dubai Internet City, there's an incredible demand that happened for technology, right? Because everything transitioned online. Government services were online. We also have that as part of our arm, in which we provide services for our clients online. So demand for that grew, services online grew, one-stop shop in terms of you can do whatever you want in terms of government online. You don't need to physically go. So this kind of change is something that we witnessed and is continuing today. So we're seeing today that people prefer to do things online much more than before. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people pay by cash, for example, right? They either tap on their iPhone or or their phones generally. So it's more digital than before.
And did you see any changes in terms of businesses setting up here in Dubai since the COVID-19
Absolutely.
pandemic?
2 very important points in this. Number one is that Dubai as a hub is proven itself extremely successful during COVID times. It's a resilient city. It's been managed properly. And just like the UAE as a country as well, this is a good base for companies to be based in. And therefore, when a lot of countries around the world were shut down, Dubai was open for business.
Wow. Okay.
So this is a very important point that give us the confidence and give a lot of the investors and companies from around the world to set up, even if it's small operations in this region, because you can start up small, but once you come into this region, you will notice the opportunities that are around us. There is so much potential around here, and the UAE and Dubai is a good base for this. So this is extremely important. And the second thing, Dubai is a very beautiful city to live in. It's easy to be here, easy to live. The services are really nice. Schooling is there. So as families and people move to Dubai, it's a great place to be in.
What do you find is the most attractive point that draws African businesses to Dubai?
I love this question because it is direct to the point that what opportunities lie here if you come to Dubai and establish something small. What opportunities lie here? And the opportunities are global. So by being based in this country, you have access using everything from the airlines. So within 7 hours, you can be in a big portion of the world, a very large population. So that's your target market. And second important part is that a lot of our companies here, especially in Dubai Internet City, we have companies that run 90 to 100 or 120 countries from these offices here. These are regional HQs that have significant number of these countries being managed from this location. If you have a good product, they're literally across the corridor or next building, right? So this opens doors for you in terms of opportunity. You can have a small shop here, start up small, or you can have a huge opportunity. We offer services from everything, from a freelancer to a large company to campuses, and all of this is available. So we take care of the logistical part for the companies, the trade license establishment, the visas for your staff. This is something that we take care of. But the opportunities that we have for African companies in Dubai is global. It's not just the Middle East.
And in terms of the businesses that you would like to see here, coming from the African continent, what are you targeting?
We are targeting anyone in tech as Dubai Internet City. But we've seen quite a few good companies come from Africa in fintech. And we've seen good companies come in also in telco and digitalization. So they tend to be based here, and then from here look at opportunities across the region. But if you're in tech, then this is our field as well.
And that is how we wrap up this episode of CNBC Africa On Assignment, where we discovered Dubai Media City and Dubai Internet City, two hubs designed with purpose. I hope you enjoyed watching. My name is Tanya Habimana. Until next time.